Hi everyone. So this was one that I decided to do regardless of the fact that some things went wrong. Now, what went wrong? What went wrong with the video? What the plans for the video was as you can see, this is what I would think. How I would design the cards for the members of the Justice League if they were Magic the Gathering characters. What creature types again? What cards? What colors? All that stuff. Now, right off the bat, none of these guys are planeswalkers. I'm going to say that right now, because none of them fit the mold of a planeswalker. But the question is, what happened was, what I was originally planning to do, because I don't do graphics on my videos. I can't. I don't have the tech for that. I don't have a desktop, and my laptop. It's a nice laptop, but it's not like anything super amazing. So I can't do any super graphics or anything like that. But what I was going to do was I was going to go on to one of the card maker sites, do that and design a card. And I did design the card, designed it for Batman and all that. And I was going to, save it, I was going to upload it and all that. And I was going to print it out. Well, I think it's either because I didn't download it or because all I did was basically, because I didn't want to really sign up for the site. It was just one of those things I was doing. And I couldn't figure out how to put power and toughness on the card either. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't put it on there. So what I did was I clicked it, saved it to the computer, or saved it to my files, and then I clicked it, and then I put the little power and toughness in there and post, and I was going to print it out. I think it's because I didn't download it, or maybe it's just a different system, but it didn't hook up to my printer at all. It wouldn't print. So I couldn't print out the picture. And what I was going to do is show you what the picture was, basically. So it did not do that. I'm not certain why it didn't do that, but it didn't. But oh well, it didn't do that. Whatever. It doesn't matter a great deal. I can still give you my thoughts and suggestions of what I think these guys would be like as Magic cards. So without further ado, let's get into this. Now, when I did this, I had to think which Justice League characters I was going to do. Was I going to do the core 5? Was I going to do some of the main ones? And what I decided to do was aim for the ones we currently have in the cinematic universe right now. So that means I'm not doing Green Lantern. I'm not doing the Martian Manhunter. I'm not doing those guys. What we're focusing on is Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg. So, without further ado, well, let's just get started. And the first one I designed, not surprisingly, is Batman, because I think that was the good starting point for me to get my idea how to design that. So, when designing the creatures, I had to, right off the bat, you have to understand what their color identity is. Now, Mark Rosewater actually said in Blog Talk at one point that he saw Batman as a white-blue with Bruce Wayne's alter ego being black. And I thought on that, and while the alter ego of Bruce Wayne is black, I don't completely agree that Batman is white-blue. And what I mean by that is I don't believe he's completely white-blue. Why I say is like white, he believes in justice, he's the world's greatest detective, so right there, white and blue, he believes in justice and order and all that. But he clothes himself in the guise of darkness. He encompasses darkness. He embraces the darkness. He uses it as intimidation to get it for means to an end. So, in essence, I do believe he does have qualities of black. Now, I believe it is the least of his qualities. I believe that in terms of the color order, it would probably be white, blue, and then black in the order the colors show up on the card. But that's said, because black I don't believe is his primary color. I believe white and blue are his primary colors. Probably white more than anything else. But I do believe black would be there. So what I did was I basically said that for Monocost, and all these guys would be mythic legendaries, by the way. Monocost-wise, he'd be a white, blue, black, 2 of any color. So he would be Human Knight Artificer. He'd be a 4/4 creature, as Batman is, peak human. He would not be like super strong or anything, but he'd be peak human. He can hold his own. Obviously, he's Batman. I believe he would have Vigilance, Hexproof, and did I give another one, or did I forget to write that down? Yeah, I think I forgot to write him down, but I know for a fact that I gave him Vigilance and I gave him Hexproof. Vigilance because he's vigilant, he's the Dark Knight, and Hexproof because he's a ninja. He moves through the shadows. He can disappear well. He can out ninja Superman, for God's sake. He's the goddamn Batman. So yeah, I believe he'd have Hexproof and Vigilance. Now, in terms of his actual abilities, again, I made him a Human Knight Artificer for a reason, because Batman is intellectual, but uses a lot of gadgets. So, I gave him this. I gave him pay 2 and create a one battering token, artifact token. Now, you can pay 2, tap, and sacrifice the artifacts to give one of the following effects. You can either do 2 damage to a target creature. You can do, hence, like knock him out, maybe blow him up or something like that. You can do 2 damage to a target creature. You can tap target creature, and that creature does not untap during the next opponent's untap step, like stunning with a battering. Or you can do the other one, which is destroy target artifact. Hence, Batman throws it like at a door or some sort of device, and the batarang explodes, destroys the thing. So from a flavor perspective, I believe Batman falls into the human artificer category due to his gadgets. In terms of how you would use this guy, he's not an artifact creature, but you would, and I honestly don't think you'd even have to run him in an artifact deck. That's the thing. He is an artificer, but it's not that he works well with other artifacts. He works well with his artifacts. Now, he's perfectly good at interfacing, all that stuff, hacking, and whatnot, but that's not his core traits. So I had to design it along the standpoint of what is Batman good at. Batman is good at versatility, stealth, and his gadgets. So that's how I had to design him. So again, I designed him as a 5 mana, 1 blue, 1 white, 1 black, 2 of any color, 4/4 human artificer knight, or human knight artificer, take your pick. Tap 2, create a batarang token artifact, or artifact token, if you will. Pay another 2, tap it, and sacrifice said a batarang artifact token, and either do 2 damage to a creature, tap target creature, and it does not untap during the next untap step, or destroy target artifact. So he's not hacked. He can be destroyed. He mostly would be destroyed in battle because you couldn't target him. But he's also not super high. I mean, a 4/4 is solid, but he's not like he's going to try crashing into a bigger creature or anything like that, because Batman's not stupid. He would instead maybe try to use his batarangs, his tech, to, throw batarangs. And that's the thing. You can amass a little army of batarangs, so and then boom, 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 okay? Like if you're fighting Doomsday or something, which, I actually had a lot of fun doing this, so I will probably do more videos like this in the future, where I'll just take characters from fiction and stuff like that and turn them into cards. I'll take ideas for that too. But, yeah. Or, tap it down and then, have some time to build a strategy to stop the big creature. But yeah, that's how I saw Batman. Moving on to Supes. Now, this one is the only one where I actually made him as a transform creature. So on the Clark side, we have Clark Kent, who is human reporter, but we're not going to say human. We're going to actually stick with the magic terms. Human. Now, he costs 4 of any color and 3 white, and he is a 1/1 human. He is indestructible, however, given the fact that he is Superman underneath. So at the very least, he is indestructible. When a creature would be destroyed, transform Clark Kent into Superman, son of Krypton. Now, Kryptonian hero or Kryptonian warrior, whatever you want to put it on, that would be his creature type. Now, he would be a 10/10, because he's Superman, indestructible flying. Now, this one I'm going to have to actually read, because this one was very interesting for me to do. Now, at the beginning of your upkeep, gain 1 energy. Superman gets +1/+1 for each energy counter you have. I basically took that as, he's solar energy, solar powered. He absorbs solar radiation. So the more solar radiation he gains, he gets stronger. And what's the way we do that in Magic? +1/+1 counters. And what way do we actually have how to signify energy, but actual energy counters in these now, thanks to Kaladesh. So right there, he's an energy user. So afterwards, you can pay 10 energy. I upped it now, and it all depends how you would like to find on the card, but 10 energy. Destroy all cards on the field, transform Superman back into Clark. Put 5 time counters on Clark, and Clark loses indestructible. As long as Clark has a time counter on him, he has -1/-0. At the beginning of your upkeep, lose a time counter. Now, for those of you who do not read the New 52, this is where this comes from. Superman has an ability called the Supernova, or Solar Flare, I believe it is. Something along those lines. He has some Super Flare. It's either Super or Solar Flare. Point being, he has an ability which essentially uses all the solar energy in his being. And basically, he becomes a miniature nuke. He can nuke an entire city. Not radiation, but just sheer power. But afterwards, he remains human for about legitimately human for like 24 hours. He's still got Kryptonian DNA, but it's just he used up, he basically burned himself out. That he needs to recharge in 24 hours. Otherwise, during that, he's vulnerable as a human. So I basically likened it to this fact that if he's going to absorb all that solar energy, he's going to use all that solar energy and just wipe out the entire field, but at the cost that he's not going to be able to attack at any point. That's like a last resort ability. He's going to destroy everything, including your stuff as well. So nothing on the field survives unless you blink it or it has indestructible, basically. And then Superman can't do anything for 5 turns, so it's up to you to be like, okay, I need to get some stuff back out before my opponent can. Otherwise, things are going to get bad real fast. So, yeah, that's how I envision Superman. Again, Clark is a human, 4 of any color, 3 white, indestructible. When a creature would be destroyed, you transform him. Turns into a 10/10 Superman flying and indestructible. You gain an energy counter each turn, get +1/+1 for each energy counter, and then you can pay 10 of those energy counters to supernova the entire field, destroy everything, put the 5 time counters on him. He loses indestructibility, gets -1/1 time counter, and you lose a time counter every turn. So that's why I foresaw Superman. Next we have Wonder Woman. Now Wonder Woman was a bit harder to define her color identity. But I basically figured like this. She's an Amazon warrior, which right off the bat kind of signified that, and she fights, defend people, defend, what's good in the world. So right there I found green and white. Green with nature, white with order. But when you really look at Wonder Woman and none of these characters, by the way, are dumb. But I couldn't put blue for everything. Superman's technically a genius as well in many ways, but it's not a defining trait of his character, so I couldn't just put that. By the way, I chose white because nothing else really... I mean, Superman has lost his cool fine, but it's not a defining trait of him. He's intellectual, but again, not a defining trait. He doesn't have a super tie-in with nature at all, and he's not black by any stretch of the means. I chose red, however, because Wonder Woman is definitely a bit of a hothead at points. She can be easily riled up, as opposed to Batman, who's not as easy to rile up, or even Superman, because of how strong they are. But coming from a warrior race, despite learning to hone your skills, she can be a bit of a, hothead at points. But I decided to go with a white, green, red, 3 of any color. So it costs 6. She's a 7/7, and again, these are all mythic, so some of these might be a little off in terms of ratio to power to mana cost, but she's an Amazon warrior. She has double strike and lifelink. I say double strike because of the warrior aspect. Lifelink because I felt it went with her correctly. I think it works with Wonder Woman a bit. And she can't be destroyed in battle. She can't be destroyed in combat. So, again, I hearken that to things like her indestructible bracelets, armor, durability. It stands as 7/7. So she's not like Superman levels of indestructible, but she's very durable. I saw her as a 7/7, 6 mana, 3 of any color, 1 green, 1 red, 1 white, double strike, lifelink, can't be destroyed in battle. But that's one of those things like, okay, Doomblade, she's gone. So, destroy target creature effect from a spell, she's gone. I can still tap her down. She doesn't have hexproof or anything. So, and she doesn't have haste. So while I think that is a seriously powerful card, it's not as overpowered as I think I make it out to be. Even Superman, for instance, is not as powerful as I make him out to be. You can tap him. You can exile him, for God's sake. He's not as invulnerable as you might think. As long as you're not trying to destroy a creature, he can't transform into Superman. So you can easily play around with that. Then moving on. Now, Cyborg was an interesting one for me. Cyborg, it could theoretically have just been a pure colorless guy, but he's still technically human. He's a cyborg. He's part human, part robot. So I had to design it more as a colored artifact creature. Artifact creature, human actually to be precise. So the way I looked at it is because of the artifacts, because of the interface with technology, he's already automatically blue. He's fighting for the good. For the good of people and to protect people. I saw it as white. Now, however, if you actually look at him overall in the comics plus in the cartoon, he is also a bit of an emotional hothead at points. He's also among the youngest of them. So I actually decided to put red in there. So I saw him as a 4 of any color, 1 blue, 1 white, 1 red. Now, with him, he fits in the niche. He's a 6'7", because I think he's nowhere near as strong as like Superman, but he's definitely durable. He can definitely take a beating. So I think his durability outweighs his actual physical strength. But he definitely ties in with artifacts. Here, the way I saw it was he's about interfacing with technology. So I saw him as you tap 5 and tap him, you take control of target artifact. Artifacts cost 1 less for each artifact you control, plus get +1/+1 to artifact creatures. So overall, I saw him as the interfacer, manipulator for art technology, and the one who kind of helped mix technology back into him was Wim a bit. Now, he's not like super, I control everything. I'm not Brainiac or anything. He's not like that. But he's the tech guy of the group. So I kind of saw it along those lines. So yeah, that was big. Again, a 4 of any color, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 red. Artifact creature human, 6/7. Pay 5, tap him, take control on target artifact. Artifacts cost 1 less for each artifact you control, and +1/+1. So kind of a pseudo affinity there. Then we have Flash. Now, Flash was an obvious one to give haste to. I think he's the only one I actually gave haste to. But I also gave him double strike. Now, in terms of his actual mana cost, he again costs 6. He's I kind of liked him to white, again, protecting people, but red because if you want to talk about emotional, he is the most emotional of them. He is the most, quick. He's the quick-witted, fast talker, quick to action, quick to thinking, all that. He's also pretty smart too, but again, not a defining trait of him. I could have, in theory, actually put red as well because he's technically a bit of the most selfish of them. Because he's the one who created the whole Flashpoint of series of events where he actually tried to go back in time to save his mom, and that was for selfish reasons. He just wanted to save her, and that actually kind of ended up screwing over the present a bit. So I could have done that, but I decided to go against it because that's not a super defining trait of him. I mean, he has had selfish moments. They've all had selfish moments, though, but it's not a core of the character. The only one I really gave black to was Batman because I actually think because of how he presents himself, how he's wrapped himself in dark and stuff, things along those lines, that actually is now part of his. The darkness is part of him now. So I did actually think the black needed to be there. But Flash is 3 of any color, 1 white, 2 red. Haste, double strike. Now this one I had a lot of fun doing because I had to figure out what would be his. He's a 5/4, so he's as squishy as Batman, but because of the speed he moves at, he can hit a bit harder than Batman. However, this one was really interesting for me to figure out. So I chose it basically as whenever Flash attacks, you add 1 energy counter to your energy pool. You can pay, and I had to figure this one, because this one, I had to figure out if I was going to do 6 air. I was definitely not going to do 6, because really when you think about the way as fast you can get energy, that would not have been fair. I had to go basically with either 8 or 10. I think I put 8 here, but looking back on it, I think I would actually put 10. I'm going to actually go with 10. So you pay 10 energy like you do with Superman's ability. You skip your opponent's next turn. Now this isn't harking to his times, basically his ability to actually traverse through time itself. Now I could have done something where you backtrack to the previous turn and redo it, but that would have been too convoluted and just too confusing. That kind of ability would never work on a card when you're talking about turn skipping. Turn skipping or extra turns is extremely powerful in and of itself. So I had to do something with time. I felt he'd moved so fast that he bypassed time and actually got there and hit the opponent before he even knew what happened. He moved so fast. So basically your opponent can't do anything at all, period. So I basically looked at it like that. I looked at it that you actually literally skip your opponent's turn, but you have to pay 10 energy, so you pretty much got to empty your entire energy pool, unless you're like doing some weird shenanigans where you're getting like 3 energy a turn for like the last 10 turns or something like that. Then if in theory you could do that and have like that much energy, which with things like Peripherate and stuff, it's not impossible. But it's just extremely hard to do. Then you would literally just bash until, it's all said and done. But then I also had pay 2 energy, negate target spell or effect that targets the Flash. Because the Flash is so fast, almost no one can hit him normally under normal means, like through pure speed. They gotta trick him or catch him off guard. Hell, Batman's caught him off guard, again, using Batman. Superman can catch him off guard because he can actually move on similar speed levels. Not that fast, but yeah. Hell, Wonder Woman, I think, has tagged him. So, Doomsday's tagged. So it's not like he can't be stopped or tagged or anything like that. It's just that he's the fastest man on Earth. And among the most fastest men in the universe, or individuals in the universe. But yeah, I figured that, besides time manipulation, he's so fast that most people can't hit him. So in that sense, I looked at it and that he can't be hit by things by normal means. So long as he's got the Speed Force on his side, he's got enough energy to move, he can't be hit regularly by like spells or anything like that, unless, it can't be countered, in which case, one of those special circumstances where someone hits him. So yeah, that was Flash. Flash was a fun one to do. Last one I had was Aquaman. Now Aquaman I looked at as I forgot to put his power and toughness. Oops. I think I put him at a 6'6", that was what I put him at. Durable, but not like Superman levels or Wonder Woman levels. I put him at a 6'6". He costs 3. Costs 3 of any color. 1 green because he's part Lord of the Sea, conversing with sea life and all that. So he's in tune with nature. Red because he's no matter what version you look at, he kind of, besides the Justice Friends of Society or whatever, no, he's actually kind of hot. He's actually kind of emotional and hot-headed. He is really kind of lets his emotions kind of fuel him a bit. And blue because he's not dumb and he's Lord of Atlantis, or like the King of Atlantis. So yeah, with the ocean, you kind of have to put blue in there. So he's essentially a teamer colored guy. Now I gave him trample because he's Lord of the Sea. He's kind of a bit like a wild animal in many regards. Not like a true wild animal, but you kind of get what I mean by that. He's untamed. He is the seas with him, and he is part of the sea. Now with this one, it was interesting to see what his special ability for me would be. And with him, I looked at this. You pay 5, and you summon XX sea serpent creatures, or sea beast creatures. And if this were a set, you could have like 3 different sea beasts. One's a sea serpent, one's a kraken, there's a giant whale or shark or something like that. And if they're whose power, where X is the number of power of toughness is XX. So XXX creatures. So if you paid 1, you'd have 1, 1, 1. If you paid 2, you'd have 2, 2, 2s. But X is the number of islands you control. Now that is very important because while he has 3 colors, he is the Lord of the Sea. With like this Triton, he can literally manipulate the sea. So the power of his army, his sea creature army that he can summon to aid him, is only as strong as his mastery of the islands you control. So while you might have like 10 land on the field, 4 of those might be an island, or 2 of those might 3. Yeah, so let's go with 6. 6 of those might be red and green, whereas the 4 are the island. So when you pay that 5, you're getting 4 4/4s, which would still be extremely powerful. Now I could see decks using that in the sense that no, we're just gonna mana ramp and splash and stuff like that. I have actually 10 islands on the field right now, and to turn or not 10 islands, let's say 6 islands and turn 8. So I'm gonna pay that, and I'm gonna get 6 6/6s. So yeah, and I gave him trample as well because trample over your opponent with the sea and your power and the creatures. But yeah, that's how I kind of saw that. Despite his color identity, he's still the master of the sea. So that's kind of how I saw him playing out. So again, just to recap, for Aquaman is the last one. He costs 6, 6/6 with trample, 3 of any color, 1 green, 1 red, 1 blue. You pay 5, summon XX sea beasts, where X is the number of islands you control. So that is how I envisioned the Justice League, at least the ones I went with. And I'll probably get the other ones at some point in some time if and when I make more of these, which I feel like I will. I had a lot of fun doing this video. So yeah, that's how I saw the Justice League envisioned as Magic cards. So yeah, join me next week when I do another Magic video. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do for Magic next week, but maybe it'll be a top 10 again. Or maybe it will be something else. I don't know for certain. But I will probably have something at some point. I'm trying to remember what else I got. I got my Pokemon review, and I'm going to do pre-record my what ifs. So I got those. But right now my computer is very low in battery, so those ones will have to wait. I will charge my computer up, and as well I upload these. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed. I'm just repeating stuff at this point. It's Sunday. It's my only other day off. I've got to work the next 5 days, so I'm trying to enjoy myself. So I'm a little relaxed and scatterbrained all at once. But yeah, ideas for what ifs and who would wins, put those in the comments below. I do get to those. Thanks for watching. I don't know if there is a showing for Incarnate, I will be at that on Thursday. If not, I will probably just catch something else. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time, folks.